It's no secret that a big part of the nerdcore scene, especially in the past few years, have been rap battles.
Rap battle.
I'm not talking about epic rap battles of history, although they are the pioneer for this whole genre, but instead the countless fan-made spin-off series. What was originally just a bunch of kids on a green screen in 2015 is now turned into genuine productions that eclipse ERB in quality at times. The genre really started reaching its peak in 2022 when the Mr. Beast meme got popular based off Freshy Kanal Squid Game vs. Mr. Beast rap battle, and ever since then the battles continue to regularly pop up online. Whether it be serious battles like the kind made by Freshy Kanal or in Eddiefrb, or if it's more joke productions like Snakebite 126's terrible rap battles at Comic Sans or Legend 57 rap battles. I have always been a huge fan of this community, if it isn't obvious from my own low quality joke series inside joke rap battles. So today, I decided to stop retrospectives or rankings for a second to give you, in my opinion, my top 10 best fandom rap battles. It's actually more of my top 10 favorite, but best does better for a title, so whatever. Anyways, let's begin with number 10.
Wario versus Count Dracula.
Wario vs. Count Dracula by Gridline Studios is probably my favorite rap battle from Gridline. I was really torn between this and Godzilla vs. Harry S. Truman for this spot, honestly. I mainly went with Wario vs. Dracula though, just because overall I don't think there are any bad bars throughout this battle. Sure, there aren't any steal-the-show shocking bars, but overall most, if not all, the bars land somewhat. Wario going after Dracula's weaknesses and then calling him creepy for how he treats women, and Dracula making fun of Wario's size and inability to date Daisy. Wario's best line in this battle is probably either "Wow, you just prey on girls, #Cancelvania," or "I've seen vegetarians handle a steak better," both from his second verse. Meanwhile, I think Dracula's line, "I would slice you like meatballs in your spaghetti, but it seems Elon Musk butchered you already," is probably his strongest. Although, shout out to the cool mustache Stalin line being a reference to Stalin versus Rasputin from ERB. As for who won, I think Wario takes it just because he has two really good lines, while I was kind of stretching to pull a good one from Dracula. Overall, a solid battle, a great instrumental, and a funny matchup too. A good battle to start us out with. Number 9.
Versus the boss, baby, begin.
Hiko from Danganronpa vs. The Boss Baby is a joke battle made by Snakebite 126 for his series Terrible Rap Battles of Comic Sans. I'm aware that this is a joke battle, and if anyone involved with making any of these battles are watching, this is your biggest clue that this is just my top 10 favorite battles and not the best 10 quality ones. I will admit I do have a bit of a Danganronpa bias, but I don't really feel like that plays a part in this list. Hiko vs. The Boss Baby, however, holy shit, is one of the best joke battles I've ever seen. Like, this is legitimately just a normal battle outside of the insane matchup. You have a corporate baby facing off against the short, extremely foul, and angry leader of the Yakuza. And the connection is that they're both short and wear suits. This battle also has one of the most foul lines ever written, which comes from Kazurio, if you couldn't guess. "How about I do what your parents should have and make this track your abortion," is disgustingly foul for this battle, but in the best way. Like, unironically, this is up there with the miscarriage line from ERB. Because you have to remember, this is a 16-year-old telling an actual baby he should be aborted. If I had to choose a strong line from the Boss Baby, it would probably be, "I'm trying to wrap my head around you, but I can't tell what carries more weight, your shoulders from all your losses or the swimsuit that caved your sister's face," is an incredible bar to Kazuru. However, not even counting the abortion line, Kazuru also has "Junko forced our whole class to watch Chiaki's death and it still brought less despair than your original on Netflix," or "Your film dodged a bullet dropping Spacey before he touched it." Yeah, Kuzuryu wins easily, but this battle has always been one of my favorites, despite how one-sided it is. One of the best joke battles out there, period, and proof that Snakebite can write absolute bangers even when he isn't trying to. Number 8.
Tricky the Clown versus Springtrap.
drop.
Tricky the Clown versus Springtrap by Eddiefrb is a really well-performed battle. While I'm not familiar with Madness Combat, Peso Pete as Tricky does an amazing job, but holy shit, King Mewtwo as Springtrap is probably the most accurate sounding William Afton I've ever heard in any rap battle ever. Like, genuinely hats off to you, dude. You did incredible. But how is the battle itself? Fucking mental. The beat is fast-paced, has heavy bass the entire time, and doesn't let you breathe for a second. This battle becomes damn near overwhelming at parts. Not to mention, holy shit, Tricky destroys Springtrap here. Like, this isn't a fair battle in the slightest. Tricky says shit like, you got off scot-free knowing you won't die, pumped full of remnant, talk about pro-life, and then follows it up with, your creator built up a stuffed-up wallet, and that moron used it to fund some fucked-up causes. Defended his actions because what God wanted. I went and asked Jeebus and he said, fuck Scott Cawthon. That's just his first verse. Second verse hits, and passed off parenting because William had to be hidden acting as a businessman. Tragically, silly daddy saw his kids get attacked by the same contraptions he was building. And then just casually saying that he fucked William's wife. Tricky, what the fuck, bro? Springtrap's best rebuttal and all of this is, how about you go build yourself arms? And you're not a clown, you're the entire circus. His dead-ass best line is just, and yes, I target children, true, but I would never groom them, please. Your fans are safer with me than in your communities. He has to resort to saying that Tricky's relevance is because of Friday Night Funkin'. Springtrap, pack it up, man, you lost. This is one of the most insanely one-sided battles I have ever seen, but the writing is insanely solid throughout. As I said, the instrumental is really good too. Not Eddie's best battle, as we will see, but still an incredible battle for what was essentially just a fuck FNAF battle. Number 7.
Puss in Boots versus the Cat in the Hat. Drop.
Another Eddiefrb battle back-to-back, but I can't help that he makes good shit. Puss in Boots versus the Cat in the Hat by Eddiefrb is an insanely high-quality battle. It is one of the grooviest instrumentals for any battle I've ever listened to. It overall flows wonderfully, and before any of you say anything, this battle isn't just on the list because Stupendium is in it. I know I'm biased, but leave me alone. The battle is done wonderfully. I love the video and how gorgeous it looks, and how well it not only emulates Seuss's art style, but the art style of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish in each respective segment. Puss sings about how creepy the cat is, how his legacy is tainted due to Seuss's racist actions, and even raps in Spanish, which I think is just an actually amazing moment. While the cat instead raps about how Puss failed to get Kitty to love him, and how he abandoned his brother Humpty Dumpty. Puss's best line is a tie between, yes, I draw first blood like the doctor's answer, and I go for the throat like your author's cancer, and pretty much the entire second verse. He raps about Seuss's legacy tainting all his works, and then raps in Spanish about how the live-action Cat in the Hat movie even upset Seuss's widow. Meanwhile, the cat's best line is probably reunited again with Perito, but she's not impressed by her little gatito. Overall, an amazing instrumental, 2 incredibly well-done vocal performances, a really art-style accurate music video. This battle just proves why Eddiefrb is on top of the rap battle community right now. Sure, Puss in Boots won easily, but the battle remains fair throughout and is incredibly produced. Hats off to the entire crew behind this battle, no pun intended. Number 6.
Monica versus Junko Enoshima. Begin.
Monica versus Junko Enoshima by Michael Stark is an insanely well-made battle that also highlights something not talked about much within the community: the quality and sheer amount of female representation within it. This battle perfectly showcases Kurobane Asia and Shishi Shiana as Monica and Junko respectively, and they both do an incredible job. Asia is almost always cast as Monica, at least in battles I've seen, and she remains an incredible cast, with Shishi Shiana sticking out as an unfamiliar name to me, but one who does an incredible job portraying Junko, which, as someone who has tried to do so before, is really hard to do because Junko's whole thing is her split personality, so it's really impressive to me to flawlessly perform without coming across as cringe or awkward. Monica attacks Junko as insane, a pointless sadist, and the ultimate fascist diva, which is fucking insane and probably my favorite bar in this entire battle. Meanwhile, Junko is Junko. She attacks how Monica overstayed her welcome by ruining the visual novel genre and encouraging ripoffs, how Monica has main character syndrome, and how she can't even really get her love, leaving her goals for naught. Junko's best lines are easily, "My sis, my class is dead and bleeding. When I take out all my friends, I mean to. You're out of fashion, girl, the most cliche yet. Glad you found a way you could be dated." Which I think is great flow. Not really a rhyme scheme, but still really hard hitting for Monica. Monica, in her second verse, then says, "One look at your corpse says you're not all there. Your hands, your womb, your dignity they kept. Your pupils must suck if you give out all those extensions." This battle is just really good. I can't even name a strong knockout bar because both girls have such strong bars that floor one another, but none go into foul or overreaching territory. Monica does win though by the slightest bit just because Junko's second verse doesn't have a strong crazy bar, but besides that, this is an insanely close battle. This battle has a strong instrumental, a great live action music video, and is a strong showcase for the pre-male presence in the rap battle community. It's really obscure compared to a lot of these other battles as well, so I would definitely check this battle out of the most of the battles in this list. Superb quality. Number 5.
Mon Dieu.
Benoit Blanc vs. Hercule Poirot by Freshy Kanal is so insanely well made and chaotic. It's the only royale I have on this list, a battle where each character only gets one verse and then a huge number of guest characters get involved. This one actually has a plot as well, being that all the detectives show up to solve a murder and rap about which one should be allowed to solve the case. And it ranges from normal detectives to fucking Shaggy from Scooby-Doo popping in. Also, this battle is 7 minutes long, but it never feels that long. It is really well paced for the runtime and keeps you hooked the entire time. I'll just go verse by verse because it honestly would be way easier that way. First, Stupendium appears again and raps as Hercule Poirot, and probably has the weakest verse out of all of them. Like, come on, what the hell does "you're an imposter in hot water like Among Us in the bathtub" even mean? You could have given my goat literally anything else but the worst and first verse in this entire battle. I'm actually upset about this. Regardless, Schwabadi raps as Benoit Blanc, and Ben Affleck playing him in the video. Ben Affleck previously played James Bond in ERB, so I just think that's a funny casting choice. Benoit does a great job with lines such as "Your far-fetched farming dreams will have to wait tight. The only thing you've planted in the soil is your late wife," and then saying that Dame Agatha Christie wish she'd never been written. Then, he accuses Poirot of causing the murder of the plot. But wait, here's where it starts to go off the rails. Gianni Matragano shows up as Columbo. Columbo does what he does, insults Poirot for being fat, says Blanc is a donut, and then finishes off with, "That's all, boys. Whoever did this must have been some posh snob. Just one more thing, how much those watches cost?" This is now where we lose said plot, because Snakebite126 playing L from Death Note shows up next. His verse is probably the second weakest, being relatively short and also reserved just to say how repetitive Columbo's show is, and says, "You take what's known, rediscover it, less Columbo, more Columbus." L then gets cut off by, and I'm not kidding you, fucking Batman. Batman is now in this fucking rap battle. He has one of the longest verses and spends the entire time just tearing apart L. He doesn't really have any standout lines outside that he thinks L isn't doing detective work to actually save innocent people, and that L did all his work to find light only to just get written off by his sidekick's sidekick. Shaggy from Scooby-Doo then joins into the battle because why the fuck not? Shaggy also has one of the strongest bars for literally zero fucking reason. "Last time someone took shots in the dark, Bruce got orphaned." Batman then tells him to solve the murder if you're so damn smart, only for Shaggy to say he's only there for food. We finally get back on track with Rustich performing as Sherlock Holmes and Little Flex as Watson. They tear down everyone, rap fast, solve the murder, revealing that the guy wasn't dead, and then just walk away. They win the battle by literally solving the plot. It is an insane 7 minutes where 7 detectives show up and just say stupid shit. I love this battle to death. I think the instrumental is genuinely solid, and I love how it changes every verse to work for every detective. I love the performances, and if I had to choose a winner not including Holmes and Watson, then honestly, I think Shaggy would win it. The orphan line is it's just gold, man. This is not the last you will see of a Freshy Kanal battle on this list, by the way. This is only the beginning. Number 4. Jigsaw versus Springtrap is another Freshy Kanal battle, and this one may just not have a winner. Like, this is one of the closest battles I've ever seen, and it comes down to simply just how close and well written each character is. Jigsaw goes more philosophical, tearing down William's past and literally winning within the story of the battle by revealing the entire battle was a saw trap all along to kill Afton. Meanwhile, William carries some really, and I mean really, heavy-hitting bars. While Jigsaw is more restrained, William goes full force into the lyrical assault. Starting off as a showdown between Afton and Kramer in their first verses, Afton tears down how contradictory Kramer's life mission is, and how he gets cops to do all the hard work for him. Kramer's first verse? William, you spent your life finding children to kidnap. Wow, that's how we're starting this. With little to no emotion in his voice, Kramer casually refutes everything Afton just said with, "You kidnapped children your entire life," and then continues onward with it, saying how Afton stole all his ideas from Henry and Edwin before going into this really unintentionally funny flow at the end, where he says, "First your son got crushed by your design quirks, then the bite of 87 drew the parents' fire, well baby scooped her daughter, now her buddy rots inside her. You call them pizzerias, but they're still just family diners." Which, I can't lie, I really, really love Kramer's first verse. However, something I love more is Afton's second verse. Your cancer kept on spreading until it crushed your future. With all those flashy edits, could they not cut your tumor? I'm amazed you stay awake with that frontal lobe. At least since your kid died, you witnessed something grow. Holy shit. Unironically, top 5 rap battle bars of all time, I do not care. Like, that is insanely fucking foul, multi-layer. That's a round ender. That should be the match winner for Springtrap. However, after killing Kramer, that's when Billy the Puppet rolls in and reveals that this entire thing was a trap. Kramer comments on how it's pointless for Afton to continue living because he has nothing else to live for, and he stopped being human long before he died. It's quiet and short, but it just destroys William and his motivation. Ending with the instrumental turning into the melody of the Saw theme song as it does a Saw-style flashy execution of Springtrap is an amazing way to end this battle. If Springtrap was against any other opponent here, he would have easily won with his bars, but Kramer, simply by virtue of how restrained and psychological he got, made him take the win. It sucks because this is probably the most accurate Afton portrayal I've ever seen, with the vocal performance by Schwabadi only second to King Mewtwo's as previously mentioned. Jigsaw versus Springtrap is genuinely a near-perfect battle in every sense of the word. Number 3.
Noel Holiday versus Sayori.
Noel Holiday vs. Sayori by Gaming Plush 64 is one of the most emotionally experimental rap battles out there, and before I continue, I do need to give a content warning for the themes of suicide, manipulation, and just mental health in general. Okay, so let's get into this. This is not a rap battle. It starts as one, but delves into something deeply uncomfortable and personal. The main story of this battle is Sayori's mental health creeping up on her due to Monika's manipulation, all the while Noel is forced to say horrible things to her. It is a very dark battle. The first verse, Sayori is nice, making some light jokes about Noel being in the closet, but nothing really bad. Noel's first verse begins to push the envelope a bit as she mentions how Sayori wishes to date the player, ended with her catching them kissing one of her club mates instead. This is the last normal shred of the battle. Sayori's second verse is a little bit off, so to say, interjecting with random lines about "get out of my head" in the middle of a line about deer in headlights. But it really goes downhill with the line, "you're only making me sleepy like a seasonal depression," with the rest of her lines about Noel's family being gone seeming emotionally distant and sad, with a very transparent outline of Monika not only behind Sayori, but mimicking her exact movements in the battle, showing Monika's corruption of Sayori's file. Chris then makes Noel say some of the most emotionally hurtful things I've ever heard in a battle. Noel, reluctantly but now with anger, says things like, "I gotta say, keep all your cries of help to yourself, and if your friend actually cared for you, they wouldn't dare let you decide what you do with your stupid mind, they only make you move in line." Showing how Noel thinks she's stronger now because that's how she feels. Stupid, weak, and nothing without Chris there to manipulate her. This then leads to the most uncomfortable section of the battle, where Sayori has a mental breakdown while still dissing Noel, she sits here and insults herself and Noelle at the same time, saying things like, "You're gaslit enough to roast chestnuts on an open fire, only spoken to say open fire," and "I'm sorry I yelled, I swear I didn't mean it, I'm worth less than both of your chapters' releases." The battle ends with Kris forcing Noelle to use Snowgrave, freezing Sayori to death as the battle ends in near silence. Also, something I didn't point out until now is that Sayori in the battle is played by Kurobane Asia, who is commonly typecast as Monica for all these rap battles, is now giving the voice in this battle to Monica's first and most tragic victim. I love this battle's meta-narrative. I love the experimental approach to this battle. The writing is genuinely strong all around. This battle is phenomenal, but you need to be in the right headspace to enjoy it because this battle is emotionally demanding of you. It is tragic, sad, and unfortunate. My favorite serious story rap battle if I had to choose one. Number 2. Well, coming down from the high of the last battle, let's do a complete 180 tone-wise.
Peter Griffin versus Deadpool.
Deadpool versus Peter Griffin by Fight Marker. Oh, what, you've already heard of this battle to death? Oh. Yeah, this battle got huge last year, and for a great reason. This is the most batshit insane 8 minutes of a rap battle you will ever subject yourself to. While Freshy Kanal's Detective Royale at least made sense, this one doesn't. It starts as a decent but nothing special battle between Deadpool and Peter Griffin, with some lines like Deadpool's "You've heard of drive-bys, I'll give you a drive Brian," and Peter's "Vanessa left you, now you're in a rut, ring up dominoes, you pizza-looking fuck." This is where the battle goes insane, because the Mask shows up. It says that he'll giggity Lois and make more Sons of the Mask. Deadpool cuts him off for a second verse, only to get interrupted by Jeff Bezos, then Goku, and then Hancock. Peter Griffin then does a cutaway gag to a fake battle called Peter Griffin vs. Herobrine 2, but for a multiverse of Deadpool variants, and the X-Men show up and kill Quagmire, Cleveland, Joe, and Brian. The anger of Peter's friends dying in front of him causes Peter to turn into buff Peter Griffin from Fortnite, where he ends his verse with art overshadowed by singer problems like R. Kelly in the Singer's Opera. It then turns into a fucking Trapped in the Closet parody, before wrapping around back to Deadpool's long-awaited second verse. Then, Peter Griffin, who is now fucking God, appears and tells Deadpool to repent. Deadpool takes off his mask and reveals himself to be Satan, turning Deadpool versus Peter Griffin into God versus Satan. What the fuck is this battle? My favorite line is probably one of God's last bars, where he says, "You might be something in the MCU, but between us, who's the worst MC? Kill yourself," being a reference to the same unfunny bar from ERB. The battle then ends with Satan saying that Seth MacFarlane will die in 9/11 and go to hell. This is the most ambitious, batshit insane rap battle I will ever be subjected to. It is 8 minutes, but feels like an actual eternity, in the best way. Everything, every single last Easter egg or cameo is live action, and holy shit, the effort is insane. The only takeaway I can even have from this entire battle is, "Oh, giggity Lois" is a really funny punchline that keeps popping up. This is the collaborative magnum opus of the entire community, involving almost every last creator previously mentioned in this one battle. I would not blame you for saying that this is the best rap battle of all time. But before I get to number 1, here are just a few of my favorites that I wanted to mention but just couldn't find space for in the main list.
Sonic.exe versus
Sonic.exe versus the Mandela Catalog by Gaming Plush 64. The only reason this battle didn't make the main list, while I do like it more than Wario vs. Dracula, I feel like the feel of this battle would make the list a bit repetitive. After all, it's kind of in the same vein as Jigsaw vs. Springtrap. Sonic.exe and later Tails Doll bring high violent energy, while the Archangel Gabriel and An Intruder slow down the battle and bring a more thematic attack of sorts. I personally feel like the battle does get weaker in the last half too. too. Tails Doll and Intruder don't really have the greatest verses, especially compared to Sonic.exe and Gabriel. Sonic.exe is my choice to win the battle here, as he has lines like "Police portrait sketches, that's vanilla, you ain't tough shit. If you got a face that even a mother could love, bitch." And "I'm homicidal, you're some guy who plays with Liquify tool." Meanwhile, really the only strong bar from Gabriel I would say is "Ooh, the edgy demon says he's mean and his eyes tint red. Hell was checked, you're not there, they found us instead." A solid battle, but only my second favorite Sonic.exe rap battle, as we're about to see.
Bitch.
Baldi versus Walter White by Legend 57 rap battles. If Fuyohiko versus the Boss Baby was a joke battle with good writing, this is a fully fledged joke battle through and through. I love Legend 57's work to death, and it was unironically the influence that got me into making inside joke rap battles as a series. However, I can't legitimately place this battle up there with actual battles with real quality in them. Baldi versus Walter White is my favorite of their work though. I love how they have a few decent rhymes in there just to hit you with something insane. Like Walter White making a fire bar saying, "Neutralizing all other rappers' acid, I'm based as fuck," which I appreciate as a chemistry nerd. He then follows it up with "About to use some kinetic energy on your fucking nuts." Wonderful. Also, Baldi starting this entire battle with, "Oh hi, I thought this weirdo died. Maybe you should ditch this battle like your son and wife. That's right. A cancer who was more diseased than man. Call me Tuco till you better get out while you still can." Jesus Christ, Baldi. Then, after Walter's verse, Terrence Fletcher from Whiplash shows up, and I kid you not, the funniest joke in the entire battle happens.
Assuming you're teachers, you'll soon be outclassed. Concluding my feature, you will have...
I did not edit that. That is in the actual battle. Then, Terrence brings out his favorite student, NF, who sings about wanting a girl's big butt before ending with Kanye West arriving for 5 seconds and then leaving. An amazing joke battle, but not an actual quality battle that should beat out an Eddiefrb or Freshy Kanal.
Player 1, Sonic. Player 2, Goku.
Goku versus Sonic by Cam Steady. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like a lot of Cam's rap battles. Most of them seemed very content farm-esque to me. Most of his battle catalog is Monica, Baldi, and or Bendy is one of the participants, and his writing was never something I particularly enjoyed because it bordered on make obscure reference, take 2 lines to explain said reference. This battle does it too, but oh my god, this is the most one-sided battle in the history of rap battles. Like, Goku doesn't have a single good line, and even rhymes Sonic Underground with Sonic Underground. That is so shitty. Meanwhile, what lines do Sonic get? How many times you gotta die to realize that even Toriyama don't want you alive? That's the best the Mighty Saiyan can do. I heard better insults when you're saying slurs in the booth. Now all the Smash means want you in our fight, but you don't even know what Smash means. Go and ask your wife. You and I might be alike in getting chased by a chick, but when I run from a girl, it's not the one who raised my kids. And I'm the fastest thing alive, so when I step on the track, just wait, don't rap, you're not Goku Black. All but one of those bars are from Sonic's second verse. Holy fucking annihilation. The best Goku has is saying that Sonic Unleashed could have been a good game. Do you see the disparity? The reason why I took Tricky versus Springtrap over this is because at least that battle tried to make it fair on both sides, but Goku's writing here is so utterly bad it isn't even a competition at this point. Judge Holden vs. Am by Snakebite126. This is Snakebite's breakout hit, and with good reason. While I may not personally enjoy the battle as much as some, I have to include it in this list because this battle deserves to be mentioned as one of the best. The only reason I chose everything else over it was, again, because I personally don't enjoy it as much as everything else mentioned. However, holy shit, this battle is insanely well written. Being about 2 characters who both hate and take sadistic pleasure in torturing humanity, and from I Have No Mouth and I'm a Screen and Judge Holden from Blood Meridian are unbelievably well written here. Holden tries to take the high ground, painting that Am is nothing more than a child who brought about his own hell due to killing the only one with the means to free him and not this omnipotent god. Meanwhile, Am decides to quite literally torture and horrifically disfigure Holden and force him to witness his atrocities for all of humanity. This is in the same vein as Jigsaw vs. Springtrap for me. However, It's only an honorable mention because I have not read either's respective story, so I quite literally just don't get any of the bars, hence why I chose that battle over this one. However, the art, animation, beat, writing, and vocal performance are all of the highest quality from any rap battle I have seen. This battle deserves the attention it got and then tenfold. Sonic.exe vs. Benjam by Freshy Kanal. My personal favorite Sonic.exe rap battle. It was originally going to be either number 7 or 8, but got bumped off the list due to me feeling like there was too much Freshy Kanal representation, and I could not remove Blanc Perot or Jigsaw Springtrap from the list. This battle's instrumental is, for the most part, restrained and more eerie until Sonic.exe starts rapping, and then all hell breaks loose. There's so many great bars in this battle, like Ben's, "While you ended up inspiring some users, I ended up inspiring you. You strike a pose and cut up all your friends to bits. Link must have played the elegy of edginess. And hide and seek with your origin will have to do. Finding me, you should worry about who founded you." Meanwhile, Sonic.exe, holy shit, he has some great ones, including "You wanna be your hero, better luck next time, cause you are a link to your cult's website. The father's a lunatic, and you are the son who is eclipsed by the moon children. Trapped in that statue, your errors are grave. I'd say you've met with a terrible fate." And his final line, "There are so many pools of blood where I can drown you. Let's see if your lungs will be ready for round 2. I just love the energy and contrast of this battle so much. It portrays both stories, Sonic.exe and the entire Bench Round ARG, so well. I love the instrumental. I love how overly brutal Sonic.exe is at times. I just wish I could put this on the main list, but again, I don't want to overwhelm the list with only one artist. I want to highlight the entire community. So in this case, this battle had to be sacrificed. Number 1. I know I said there was a lot of Freshy Kanal representation, but I can't help it. This is easily my favorite rap battle of all time. Is it the best quality-wise? No. But personally, this is the one, still to this day, I feel like is flawless and is downright perfect in every aspect. Yuri vs. Toko Fukawa by Freshy Kanal is my favorite rap battle of all time, and honestly, I don't know if anything will beat this one. I remember watching this battle when it first came out and really liking it, and this battle actually pushed me to get into Danganronpa as a series, and ever since then, this battle has only continued to remain as one of my favorites. First of all, an absolutely amazing instrumental. I love how it's eerie and unsettling with the piano, but then won't be afraid to dive into the more heavy elements like the guitar. It works overwhelmingly well for this matchup. Speaking of which, this matchup still to this day, I toss up on who wins. On any given day, Yuri or Toko could easily take the win and have it not even be close. I don't know if I could even pull a favorite bar because both girls come armed with so many not only knockout punches, but straight up nukes at times. Not only does every bar land, it swings the battle in that rapper's favor and does incredible work at characterizing both characters. Yuri has such bars such as "Your Jekyll and Hyde trope is so mild, mixed up at birth but can't mix up your style. Grew close to your man, then in case 2, he went out his way to frame you, then only your picture remained in your bad ending playthrough, and he went out his way to frame you. And I'm gently closing the door on your little love story. Try not to get too hung up on your rejection, Sayori," which, holy shit. That's not including other lines from her, like, "I made my man lose his mind with the love in his heart. You made a boy lose a bet with how ugly you are." Toko, though, she fucking swings and does not miss a single time. "When it comes to my racier taste, I'm not shy, but they must call you Yuri because you can't land a guy," is an insane bar that I don't hear enough people talk about. "Save you the tears, all you do is whine. No wonder your back hurts so much, someone must have took out your spine. Take those piss poor flows and find more poems to pee on. You leave a bathroom worse off than Leon. And you should show me the party moves you got in store, cause girl, when the beat dropped, you hit the club floor are fucking nuclear hits." Yuri is more reserved, especially in the beginning, but her hits really do land deep when they land. However, Toko's bar bars consistently always land and land hard as well, even if they're more surface level. I still cannot tell you who wins this battle because it's just that close. Hats off to both Chi-Chi and KC for their wonderful performances as both girls. They nailed it. I know this isn't the best rap battle quality-wise, but this is my personal favorite rap battle of all time. It means a lot to me as a piece of art. That's why this is my number 1. And that is it for my top 10 favorite rap battles list. I'll have all of these battles linked in the description, so please make sure to go support and show love to all of the original creators. They all did a fantastic job on all of these. And also remember, these aren't really my opinions on the best battles, but more so my 10 favorites and the ones I would personally call the best. Although I did think about potential feedback, so I just didn't mention some battles because I didn't want to overly bloat the honorable mention section. But let me know down below, what are your top 10 favorite battles? I would love to see. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, donate to me on Ko-Fi, and even share the video if you liked it that much. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video.